Where did Jesus go for 3 days after he was crucified, died, and was buried? What happened in those 3 days? Well, if you remember from the Apostles' Creed, which is the prayer that we say during the Rosary, it says, if you look at the actual translation of the original and not some of these funny translations, the funny translations will say he descended to the dead. The original ones will say he descended into hell. Why did he descend into hell? What was he doing? He descended into hell on purpose because before his sacrifice, heaven was closed to everybody. But what about people who were supposed to go to heaven but were born before his sacrifice? They couldn't get into heaven, but they're not supposed to be in hell. They're not in a place of torment. There's like different levels of hell. They were kind of in a cold storage, if you will. Cold storage. They must have been on the bottom. Because remember, heat rises, so if you're at the top, it must be hot, right? They were basically in cold storage. They were not suffering, but they could not get into heaven because Jesus hadn't offered his sacrifice. But when Jesus offered his sacrifice, like a bullet, he goes straight to hell, bursts the doors open, and everybody who was supposed to go to heaven, he takes them out. Even in the prayers and the other things that we talk about during the Passion of Jesus and the resurrection, it talks about he's burst open the doors and he's freed all of those souls who were not really supposed to be there in the first place and would not have been if they had been born after his sacrifice. So, in those 3 days when he was dead but not resurrected, he went down to hell, burst open the doors, and takes all of the people who were not supposed to be in hell and brings them out so they could be free. Then, once he's taken care of everybody, locks the doors to hell back, and then rises from the dead. That's the simplified version. So he descended into hell to liberate souls. He liberates the souls, and he rises from the dead. Then he ascends into heaven, sends the Holy Spirit, and all the other stuff we already know. Any questions about that? No.